Okay, looks like we are all set to go. We're just gonna have a sleepy, I guess, ghost story stream today. Thanks for joining me. It might be good background stuff at the very least. Let's see here. I guess we'll go ahead and start with a beginning poll for one of the first 3 ghost stories we'll be doing. Oh wait, before I do that, we have a little bit of an update. So, Thendriks, you guys might be familiar with the individual Thendriks. They've gone ahead and allowed me to make the if you've seen it, it's this thumbnail basically. I mean, except for the background, but you know, the image of Namur in the comfy chair, you know, about to read a scary story. That is now going to be a sticker on the merch store, which is linked in the description. So I just added it in. If you are interested in getting a sticker of it, it's now available. So that was very, very cool of him. Very grateful for that. So thanks a lot, guy. Let's see. Yeah, another sticker. Did I read Chippo? I started skimming through it. It's insane. It's unsettling. It's very unsettling. And it's long too, as well. It's not the one that I was thinking of. But yeah, I'll have to get around to fully reading it. But I gave it a skim through and I didn't recognize it. But wow, it does look like an epic tale. For better or for worse. Chippo Man is on YouTube. Oh, so somebody narrated it? Alright, maybe I'll have to put it on the background when I'm doing art, I guess. Someone reads it. I may have to do that. Okay, let's go ahead and get a poll started. Let's see here. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and get the spooky horror reading music going. Nice. Okay, that should do it. Okay. Wait, nope. Gotta get rid of this. Yeah. And there we go. Cool, cool. How big are those hats? I have a big head. Is it stretchable? The beanies? I'm not sure. I've never really been much of a hat person as well. Big heads tend to run in the family. But I assume it is. Do they not have different sizes? I guess it's like a one-size-fits-all. I don't know if you want to gamble on that. Hang on. I'll check the beanies. If they've got any other sizes, I'll make those as well. But from what I understand, I think there's really just like a one-size-fits-all, especially for a beanie, which generally does have this like knit, stretchable material. Pop out of nowhere, yeah. Big head equals big brain, right? Right? I hope so. Maybe smooth brain. Okay, guys. So, for the first choice of story, we've done house for sale. We've done so many house-related horror stories. Maybe if we have, then I'll profusely apologize and move on to the second place. So, house for sale, bunker, and wax museum. Those are the choices. I'll go ahead and post the. I can't spell museum. Whatever. Good enough. Good enough. I'm not gonna double check it. There we go. All right, wax museum, house for sale, and bunker. Whichever one you guys want, go ahead and vote, and we'll read that one first. Pretty sure it's hard for beanies to be too small. Yeah, I'm not, unless they're children's beanies, and I don't believe that's the case with the Streamlabs beanies. Let's see. Beanies can stretch, yeah. Houses are just spooky. They are, aren't they? Didn't we read house for sale in the last stream? We read Skin House. I don't know. Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to mute that. But yeah, there we go. Thank you so much, Frogman. Appreciate it. Let's see. Another sticker to the stick. My god. Yeah, hopefully we'll have... Oh, I'm actually in the middle of commissioning more of those little ghosty guys. So we're gonna have a ton of different little ghosts with different expressions, too. Maybe we'll have enough for a pattern. Alright, I'm gonna have to go ahead and mute the alert box, I think, because that's gonna be super loud. But if I do see anyone getting merch from the store, I'll read it as soon as we get a break in the story. Are you going to be a VTuber moving forward? I mean, I don't know, as much as I am now. I don't know, like, you know, professional VTuber? I doubt it, but I've got a VTube model, and it's kind of an improvement over Zero model, so yeah, I got that going for me. You subscribed 2 years ago. Now you're a VTuber. Congrats. Thanks. Mute it, turn it up. God, just that'll be part of the horror. It's just there's a small chance it'll destroy your ears. Let's see. I love your Sonichi medallion. This is a totally original character called Ghost Chew. Just kidding. Yeah, maybe I'll make it a sticker too, but I don't think the design is... I wouldn't say the design is particularly unique. We'll see, we'll see. I don't know. We could call it a parody, I guess. Probably it was Skin House. That was the one with Chris Chan, right? No, Chris and Barb was, the one where the guy's looking for a hotel. Can't wait to bleed from my ears. And no, I made it invisible, so it shouldn't have any music. So we should be fine. Ears are already destroyed. Hopefully not from this. Okay, Bunker. Bunker barely made it out with 50%. So I guess we will start with Bunker. Okay. Where did that one go? Okay, there we go. Oh, glasses. Hang on. I think... Yeah, not too bad. Okay, we're set. We are all set. Oh, let me close the poll before I forget. Good job, poll. All right, thank you to everyone that voted. The first story is going to be Bunker. If I see any super chats or any kind of alerts, I'll save it to the end of the story. That way we can get, hopefully relatively raw versions of the story where there's not too many interruptions. And then if somebody wants to, like, cut it out and re-upload it so they don't have to sit through a long stream to listen to me reading stories, they can. Yeah. Book Ghost. Yeah. Let's see, I like it a lot. Your model is much more unique than other VTubers I saw, and most people I talked to seem to agree. That was the hardest thing when I was designing it, is you want something unique, but the problem is everything's been done to death, pretty much. But I figured Ghost might be good, right? You know? Maybe? Let's see, when is the VTube caller with the dog... When is the VTube caller with the dog YouTuber? Oh, collab with the dog YouTuber. I think she's an AI, isn't she? Wait, no. I'm thinking of somebody else. I don't know. Probably not ever, because I'm nobody. And also, I get anxious around other people, so probably not ever. I don't see ghosts too often. Yeah, I'm not familiar with anyone that has, although I think there probably already were ghosts before me. But okay, here we go. Wait, how long is this? Oh, not too long. Okay, cool. I'll be able to get water very soon. It was meant to be a... You don't see ghosts often. It was meant to be a pun. Oh, you don't see most often. I get it, I get it. Okay, Bunker. James frowned as he poked the tip of his walking stick into the soft ground. The last thing he'd been expecting to see in the vast Marambungi National Park was concrete. He'd gone off trail to get a closer look at a huge gum tree that had been half strangled in vines, and from there it had been all too easy to follow a trail of small blue flowers farther into the forest. When he'd pushed through the thick vegetation and into a glade, James had been hoping for a natural clearing or possibly even a spring. Instead, he found something that definitely didn't belong so far from civilization. The concrete stood a little higher than his head and arose from the ground at an angle, like a misplaced art exhibit. James approached the shape and stepped around it carefully. He quickly realized why the structure was sloped. On the other side, which was straight and horizontal, was a door. It's a stairwell, then, but to where? James glanced back the way he'd come. He could still just barely see the vine-choked gum tree, but he was a good way off the regular trail. The stairwell's builder had apparently wanted it to stay hidden, and judging by the moss growing across the door's handle, that was exactly what had happened. James didn't expect it to open, but he tried the door anyway. The plain metal handle felt cold and slimy. He gave it a tug and was surprised to find the door hadn't been locked. It was gummed in place after years of neglect, but he was able to worm it open a crack with a few good pulls. Stale, repulsive air came through the gap. It carried undertones of rot and death, and James pressed the back of his sleeve across his nose to block out the smell. What on earth is this place? James didn't have a torch, but he'd brought a camera with flash, so he raised it to the narrow opening and took a picture of the inside. The photo flashed up on his camera, and he saw stained concrete walls and dirty concrete stairs leading downwards. The angle was bad, though, and he couldn't see the stairs end. Is it some sort of military bunker, maybe? James pocketed the camera and pulled on the door again, trying to widen the gap. Dirt and organic debris had built up around the door frame, but it ground open slowly. Once the opening was barely wide enough for a human to fit through, James stepped back, panting, and held his camera inside for another photo. The new picture was a little clearer, though his efforts to open the door had stirred up long, still dust, which became white blobs in the flash. The stairs continued for what seemed like a long way. Clearly, no one had ventured through the door in many years, possibly even decades. James cast a final glance in the direction of his trail, then slipped through the narrow doorway. The noises inside were magnified so that James's footsteps sounded like echoing thunder, no matter how carefully he placed them. He stuck to the left wall and ran his hand across the cold concrete as he followed the stairs. The narrow band of light from the outside world didn't penetrate far into the blackness, so after a dozen steps, James took another photo. It showed 20 stairs more, then a landing. As he moved deeper, James tried to guess how far down the structure went. I'd have to be well under the forest by now, possibly even under the tree roots. The air chilled, and he was shivering by the time he reached the landing. Rounding the corner, he saw the stairs continued. He shook his head, dumbfounded, as he took another photo of the new stairwell. The disturbed dust was too thick for him to see any sort of end, though. What the hell is this place? Let's see. How we doing? It seems like that one SCP, doesn't it? 185 or something, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I wish I could remember what number it is, but this is definitely an SCP. I mean, or there's one similar to it. James's heavy breathing mingled with the echoes of his footsteps as he followed the stairs deep underground. He paused every 5 or 6 paces to take a new photo and ensure he wasn't about to walk into a wall or fall off the edge of a drop-off. At last, after more than 100 steps, the path leveled out into a corridor. James took a photo and examined it, struggling to see through the floating dust. The stark concrete walls were bare except for dark shapes set into where the walls met the floor. James knelt, took another photo, and found the dark shapes were actually grates. They seemed to open into an even deeper area, though he couldn't see inside. Sewerage, maybe? Or ventilation? The grates were spaced 10 feet apart, and James tried to count them as he moved through the hallway. With only his camera to show him the way, it was easy to become disoriented and lose track of how far he'd come. But he'd passed at least 20 of the grates before the hallway ended. James, confused, stared at the photo of the empty wall in front of him. There was no door. There was no anything. The hallway simply ended, as though it had no greater purpose than to exist. James turned and took a photo of the length of the hallway, but he'd disturbed too much dust on his trip down and couldn't make out anything except a blur of white. As he retraced his path up the hallway, James kept one hand on the wall while he held the camera in the other and skimmed through the photos he'd taken. He was cold and eager to get back outside, but as he neared the halfway mark of the hallway, he stopped. One of the pictures one he'd taken to check he wasn't about to walk into anything, had focused on the walls rather than the dust motes, and it showed the grates a little more clearly than the other images had, and in one of the grates was... No, that can't be possible. But it looks so much like a face. James gasped as the bone-thin fingers, having slipped through the grate, fastened around his ankle and pulled. And that was the bunker. Maybe it was just bunker. Hard to say. What do you guys think? Yeah, I don't know who would ever be like, oh, a mysterious bunker in the middle of a, you know, protected forest area. I'll just mosey on in here. Let's see, if you're talking about the staircase SCP, it's 87. Yeah, that one was always scary. Nice, the bunker scenario makes me think of SCP-1123, to be fair. Oh. The description of the place didn't make me think about a bunker. Yeah, well, mostly just concrete and a long stairwell and hallway. I wish they'd answered more questions. Like, I get why they don't, but, you know, what was the purpose of it? What was the thing? Those ones where they don't really give you much of an idea at all always bug me. Because it's like, I'm hungry for more, tell me. And it's over, you'll never know. Let's see, this is like some American horror stories or SCP shit. Yeah, exactly. At least it had oxygen. Yeah, exactly. And that's how some of these are. Sometimes you get long ones that are really well developed, and then sometimes you get like 2-page long ones where they're you know, maybe a little bit shorter. Okay, let's go ahead and read another one. Actually, I'll start the poll and then I'll get some water. So, this is also probably going to be the last stream with this particular book. I know I said that last time, but I didn't have any other books lined up. Maybe you choose your own path book next time. That would be fun. Okay, the woman in the morgue is going to be option 1. Option 2 is going to be left behind. And option 3 is going to be the last bus. There we go. So the woman in the morgue, left behind, and the last bus. Let's see. And then I guess now I'll get some water. Still remember the Goosebumps one. Oh yeah, that was a good time, wasn't it? We'll have to do that again. It's almost spooky season after all. The treasure is either dead bodies or a lot of meth. Yeah, exactly. It's never worth it. Let's see, pretty creepy. I like that it was a cliffhanger. It didn't just tell us what the monster was. True. There's definitely a golden area between, you know, telling you too much about the monster and then telling you not enough, I think. Okay, let me get some water real quick. I wish there were more hints to what the monster was, though. Yeah, me too. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's that golden area where it's like, you want some information, but too much is probably not the best. Choose your own adventure is always cool. I know, right? As soon as I get a little bit more regular, maybe I'll put a poll and order one off of Amazon and read that. It's such a pain though, because whenever I read those Choose Your Own Path books, I always had to have like sticky note strips that I would, like a giant sticky note that, well, not a giant, regular sticky note that I would peel into narrow strips and then try to save my place. But the problem is after like half an hour, you've got like 3 or 4 or 5. And then when you have to go back, it's like, which one is that again? You demand all of the info. I feel like once you have a description of the monster, it's slightly less scary. True. I definitely can understand that. But it's like, I'd like to know a little bit more about the bunker. I'd like to know a little bit about, why it was built. Or at least some hints, is it a cult? Was it a dude? Was it a homeless guy that, got locked in there and was hungry? Or, what is it? Did you know they decided to cancel the CW Powerpuff Girls series? Good. Super good. Because I don't think all the rewrites in the world could ever save it. I really don't. And I also think that maybe it wasn't in the best of hands. Like, I don't think the people making it really cared about Powerpuff Girls at all. So, I think it's maybe best if we all just wait for one that, cares about the source material and the fans. So, I remember enjoying Asterix Choose Your Own Adventure when I was a kid. Really? They had those? Asterix is the... I want to say Viking, but maybe it's like the little smooth white guy with the big nose. No, isn't that like Bone? Or Bonerix or something. Asterix, right? And there's Dogmatix and the big guy... Right? I mean, I think that's the case. I never had that growing up, but I did just watch Asterix Meets Cleopatra the other day, and that was a ride. I have like 5 Choose Your Own Path books, but they're in Spanish for obvious reasons. A corporation caring only about... Yeah, if only, exactly. That's why they're all failing. They're too corporate, they're too focus group, and they're too vanilla and tame, except like when they're not, they're just super disrespectful. Asterix la Gallo? They are Gaulish. Oh, wait, what did I say they were? I said they were Vikings? Are they not? Are Gauls not Vikings? I have a similar aesthetic. I hope you're doing okay. I'm not able to be here for the stream. A little bit of sickness. I'm so sorry, Dragnov. Hope you feel better. And yeah, Asterix, yep. I think it was originally French, so you'd probably know about it more than the rest of us. Obelix, huge and holding his many ears. Asterix, tidy and scrappy. Yeah. They were so damn famous in Italy. Really? That's nice. Okay, the woman in the morgue. Everybody wants to know about the woman in the morgue. Here we go. Where is that? A woman in the morgue. Frank leaned... Oh, wait, how long is this? Hang on, I should... Okay, this one's another short one. Frank leaned on the surveillance room's door frame and glanced over the dozen screens set up above the desk. Hey, Lest, how's it going? I'm sorry, the name Lest threw me off. Is his first name Mo? Hey, Lest, how's it going? Lester, chip packet in one hand, swiveled his chair to give Frank a wide grin. If it isn't my favorite nurse, get your butt in here and grab a drink. With a final glance at the nurse's station down the hallway, Frank slipped into the room and relaxed into the spare seat. Thanks, he said, taking the offered soda. It's been crazy tonight. Oh, yeah? Yeah, 3 patients coded, can you believe it? Things have quieted down now, thankfully. He let his eyes skip over the screens, which showed every floor of the hospital. Frank loved coming into the security rooms during his break or when the nurse's station went through a quiet patch. He found it soothing to watch the bustle of the hospital without having to be involved. Anything interesting happening tonight? Not much, Lester said. Had a family that tried to get out the wrong door. They spent at least 5 minutes pushing and pulling on the handle before a nurse took pity on them and showed them the right exit. Oh, and check this lady out. I reckon she must be from the psych ward. I have no idea how she got down there, though. Frank leaned forward to look at the indicated screen. Isn't that the morgue? Yeah, it absolutely is. She's not a doctor. I have no idea how she would have gotten in there. The woman, dressed in slacks and a singlet, walked up and down the length of the room, pausing to look at the labels designating which body was stored in each unit. She had her back to the camera, so all Frank could see was her fluttering hands and long black hair. You going to do anything about that? He asked, shooting a critical glare at his friend. It's a restricted section. Relax. Lester shook the chip packet at Frank, who waved it away. I've already sent Paulo to bring her out. He should be there any time now. Even before he'd finished speaking, the morgue's door opened. Paulo, their lanky security guard, ambled inside. He stopped just inside the door, his back to the camera, and faced the woman. She showed no signs of acknowledging his presence. After a moment, Paulo unclipped his walkie-talkie and spoke into it. Its partner, which rested on Lester's desk, crackled, but no noise came out. Lester swore at the black box as he picked it up. Piece of garbage is malfunctioning again. Hey, Paulo, I can't hear you. Paolo turned to look at the security camera and spoke again, though the footage was too grainy for Lester to read his lips. "You're not coming through, idiot," Lester said, but Paolo didn't seem to hear him either. The security guard turned and left the morgue, locking the door after himself. The woman either didn't notice or didn't care. She continued to pace, her hands twitching by her sides as she read the labels. Why is he leaving her there? Frank leaned forward to scowl at the cameras. Lester huffed in frustration and threw his empty chip packet to one side. Geez, no idea. Maybe she really is psychotic and Paolo needs one of the nurses to help subdue her. Dibs, not me. Even though his tone was casual, Frank found himself unable to look away from the woman on the screen. There was something disturbing about the way she moved, pacing awkwardly with her hands fluttering about her face. As she glanced at each of the tags, she was searching for something, or someone. Paolo entered the surveillance room, ducking to fit his tall self under the doorframe. "Where'd she go?" he asked Lester. Lester blinked at him, then frowned. "Nowhere, idiot. Why'd you leave her?" "What? She wasn't there. Did she leave the morgue or something?" Frank tuned out the argument as he stared at the screen. The woman had turned to look behind herself, and in that second of seeing her face, he recognized her. He'd seen her only briefly an hour earlier, but he knew he would never forget that face, with its bulging eyes and froth bubbling over the blue lips as he and a team of 2 doctors and 4 other nurses tried and failed to save her life. And that was The Woman in the Morgue. The music fitted so good. Yeah, sometimes it lines up like that. Super nice. Definitely nice. Alright, let's go ahead and head back to the index. Well, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, spooky. I really thought she was gonna kill Paolo and they were gonna have to watch it happen. Okay, alright. So I think we have time for maybe 1 more, 2 more if they're short. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and yeah, 1 more, I think. Okay, new poll. Maybe the final poll, we'll see. We've got after closing. Let's see, Snowbound. And for the third option, hazard lights. Okay, we'll go ahead and post that poll real quick. All of the stories. Another good 4chan story is Chad the Ghost Puncher. I've never heard that one either. So blue lips and foaming at the mouth, asphyxiation or maybe an overdose? Yeah. Probably. That one actually got some ghost. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Hooray, she wasn't dead. No, I mean, I think she might have been. Let's see. You cried reading Chad the Ghost Puncher. Oh, is it an emotional story? Let's see. It looks like Hazard Lights is just barely winning out with 38%. I'm glad everybody's having a good time so far. I'll probably wait, I'll be at the shooting range tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow we'll probably finish off House if we can. She wasn't dead, she was undead. Dumb browser crashed again. I'm sorry. Is anybody else having any issues? I know in the past, sometimes the stream connection has always been kind of weird, but hopefully it's cooperating for people. Alright, Snowbound just overtook it by 37%. So it looks like it's pretty even so far, but Snowbound just barely is edging it out. Okay, 38%. Okay, I'll take a sip of water and then we'll close that poll. Oh, wait, hang on, I better. Okay. What am I gonna shoot? Glock, Ruger, rifle, I guess. I'm really bad with the size of bullets, but the Ruger's like a 22 and the Glock is a... What is the Glock? Yeah, the sizes always mess with me, especially because, like, sometimes the bigger the size, like, the smaller the bullet, and it's like... I don't know, it's weird, because it's actually describing width or something, and I don't know. But yeah, whatever people give me, I guess. I'm gonna shoot the Ghostbuster gun. I love the Glock. I like it too, but it's just nicer to hold a... I don't know, it's got a lot of bang and kickback, unfortunately. Glock is 9mm. Yeah, that's it. I always forget. Rifle. Well, it's like a... I want to say Ruger rifle, but that can't be right. But it, or 22. Or maybe Ruger was the manufacturer. I don't know, but the rifle's a 22 scope. Alright, bye. Hope you find what you're looking for. Oh, wait, what? Oh, that's to somebody else. It's probably a Glock 26, 19, or 17. I don't know. I'll have to ask, and if you remind me, I'll probably be able to answer that. Okay, Snowbound has beaten the poll. Or won the poll, I guess. So, Snowbound it is. I guess you guys are in the mood for a little cold weather, huh? I know it's been kind of a heat wave for quite a few of us at this point. Okay, it's a little bit longer, too. Alright, I'm sure this is gonna go great for everyone. Yeah, 9mm has more of a kickback than I initially thought. It does! I have this weird, unnatural fear where when I pull the trigger, the way it kicks up, I feel like it's gonna flip over and, like, aim at my face and shoot me, which is the stupidest thing, but... meanwhile, the Ruger is so nice. Like, I could shoot it one-handed. It's like a toy. It's super nice. I don't know. But, yeah. You want snow, but it never snows here? Yeah, I want snow, too. It only snowed here once, and it killed a lot of, rare animals in a zoo, so... Here is winter, so I'm already in cold. Are you? I'll keep you away from a shotgun, then. I just don't like a lot of kickback. I know, it's lame and wimpy, but I just don't care for it that much. Especially if you're, like, rapid firing, there's no accuracy there. Alright, let's see. Still Life. Yeah, I got a bunch of music from the Still Life game. That's something I want to play in the future, but a lot of the songs are really good. It's really hard to find kind of chill horror music because some of it's way too tense or, like, purposefully unpleasant to listen to. I really love the Silent Hill style of songs. Did you ever want me to send you a synopsis on the past Resident Evil comics, books, games? I've got the books. I was this close to reading Caliban Cove. I mean, I started it during the blackouts. But no, I feel like I gotta read them myself. I really do want to read them, but it's like, there's just not a lot of time. Or at least that's how it feels. But I appreciate the offer, thank you. Alright. Here we go. Snowbound. The screech of tires shook Jacques out of his sleep. Or is it Jacques? It's got an S at the end. Jacques? That can't be right. I'm gonna say Jacques, I think. Damn it, the Frenchman left. Dragno, where are you? You could answer this question. Alright. I'm just gonna go with Jacques. Unless somebody that understands Romance languages can correct me. But that's gonna make me nervous. Every time I say the name, I'm gonna be like, am I saying it right? Let me get a sip of water and I'll give somebody time to either correct me or not. And then I'll restart it. Wish it was winter here. Yeah, me too. The Frenchman left, what a surprise, Keck. Hey, he's usually here. He's I don't know, he just always seems to make the streams, which is amazing, but he's a bit sick. Je parle français aussi. Does the Aussie speak French? I doubt it. Jacques is pronounced Steve. Okay, we'll just call him Steve from now on. He speaks Spanish, but don't understand nothing about that name. Your pronunciation's okay? Alright, Jack or Jacques? 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 Alright, we're gonna go with Jacques, because I know Jacques is a name, whether or not that's this particular name. I shouldn't be freaking out about a name, but here we are. Okay, starting over. Snowbound. The screech of tires shook Jacques out of his sleep. The abrupt stop allured him forward in the train's seat, and his newspaper flopped to the ground. He blinked a few times to wake himself up, then looked out the window. Snow had been falling steadily and blanketed the mountainous region in white. Far in the distance, the black foothills were barely visible in the twilight, and every few meters, a clump of weedy, straggly green trees poked through the snow. The train wasn't supposed to stop until it reached its destination, Holberg, on the other side of the mountains. Jacques glanced around to see if he might have missed another side of the... to see if he might have missed an announcement, but the train's other occupants seemed just as confused as he was. The two fashionable ladies a few seats behind him were talking quickly in a language he didn't recognize. The young man who'd been eyeing the fashionable ladies was glancing about the carriage as though someone might be able to explain the delay. The thick-set, bearded man and his petite wife opposite Jacques were quiet, but they seemed just as puzzled. "What's going on?" the young man asked. "Are we there already?" "Not for another few hours," the bearded man replied. He rose from his seat with a sigh. "Let me check." Holberg? Yeah, it's spelled with a W, I think? No, Holburg, so... it might be Germany or Austria or something. I don't know. The carriage was silent during the few minutes that the bearded man was gone. When he returned, he only shrugged. They said we're snowed in. "Isn't this supposed to be a snow-proof train?" The young man sounded indignant. One of the fashionable ladies made a comment to her friend, and they both had to smother snickers. "There's no such thing as a snow-proof train," Jacques said, shuffling his newspaper back into order and folding it on the seat beside himself. "This one is designed to make it through light and moderate snow, but will still be stymied by anything heavy." "Still, though," the young man said, looking out the window, "it's not quite heavy, is it?" Jacques had to agree. The snow was thick enough to blanket, but he thought he would still be able to walk through it reasonably well. The train shouldn't have any problems, but of course there were a multitude of inconveniences that might have stopped them, such as an avalanche, falling rocks, or even just tracks that had succumbed to the weather and broken apart. One of the train's assistants burst through the door at the back of the carriage and dashed down the aisle. The young man tried to call to him, but the assistant didn't stop. Jacques had a brief impression of a blanched white face and bulging eyes before the man was past him, the air displaced by his motion ruffling the newspaper. Then he was through the door at the other end of the carriage, presumably moving towards the train's engine. The young man was demanding explanations again, even though it was clear that no one in the carriage knew any more than he did. Jacques tuned him out as he stared through the window at the softly drifting snow. He shifted forward in his seat and frowned. Despite the strength of the moon, the patchy trees and high mountains left most of the surrounding terrain in shadows. Jacques thought, though, that he'd seen a shape moving through the woods, just beyond the square of light coming from his window. A person? Or a wolf? A voice came through the train's intercom, sounding hurried and terse. "Apologies for this brief delay," it said at the same time as the train gave a jolt and began moving in reverse. "We have encountered unexpected obstacles and are required to return to Lake Laxview for tonight." "What?" The young man rose out of his seat. "That's a full 2 hours away." "Hush," the thick man said. Jacques noticed he was squeezing his wife's hand. "I'm certain they have a good reason." "But I have a hotel booked." Jacques didn't interrupt, but a prickling worry dug at him. He remembered his mother telling him stories about the mountains and the snow beasts that hid in their caves. Fairy tales, of course. But still. The train was gradually picking up speed, slinking along the track away from the narrow mountain pass it had been trying to move through. Jacques had barely relaxed in his seat when it gave another jolt. "What now?" the young man snapped, but everyone else in the carriage froze. The motion hadn't been anything remotely like the way a train was supposed to move. It was a harsh jerk in the wrong direction, as though something monumentally large were pulling the train to a halt. Then the sound of screaming metal filled the carriage, making the fashionable women clasp their hands over their ears. The young man, the bearded man, and Jacques pulled their windows open and leaned their torsos as far out of the train as they dared. Jacques looked towards the front carriage, but the night and flurries obscured the view. He thought, however, that the carriage seemed to be tilting upwards. "Run!" the bearded man cried, pushing his wife out of her seat and dragging her towards the carriage's rear door. "It has the train! Stop looking! Run!" Everything was motion. Jacques pulled out of his chair and joined the others running to the carriage's door as the sounds of screams from farther up in the train reached him. He followed the fashionable ladies outside into the icy mountains. The frozen wind bit at his face, but he didn't dare go back for his luggage. In the distance, he saw the outline of a beast, silhouetted against the starry sky, impossibly large, lifting the first carriage clear off its tracks and raising it like a child picking up a toy. Jacques didn't dare look back again, but focused on the ground ahead of him. He heard more carriage doors slam, followed by the screams of their occupants fleeing the shuddering, jerking train. He tried to stay with the group, knowing that survival together was more likely than survival alone, and only realized his error as the forerunner, the young man, screamed. A dark shape had darted out of the shadows and thrown him to the ground. Two more followed it quickly, sinking black teeth into the man's limbs as he fought for his life. It was nearly impossible for Jacques to peel his eyes away, but when he did, he saw more of the black creatures. Parasites, his mind told him. They're parasitic creatures picking off the prey brought down by an apex predator, materializing out of the shadows and bringing down the fleeing men and women. Jacques froze, unsure of what to do. Should he return to the carriage? That might afford safety from the black creatures, but make him vulnerable to the gigantic hulking monster that blotted out the moon, or continue with his companions and hope for the best. He never had a chance to make up his mind. The next moment, 3 sets of razor-sharp teeth sunk into his back. Here we go. So that was Snowbound. Lord of Chromium. Am I the first chat on this Twitch stream? Well, not to worry, this is more. Oh, yeah, no, I've seen other people talking on Twitch. Oh, it doesn't show you the icons. Well, on the top left, hang on, maybe I can move that. Or maybe not. Yeah, maybe I should, allow it to, normally I cut it off so nobody can tell who's on Twitch versus who's on YouTube, but it usually does have icons. Yeah, poor guy. That didn't end so well to him. Yeah, it sounded like a Yeti, maybe. That was a shame. Oh, hang on. I wonder if we are having maybe some connection issues. No, we're fine. Okay, cool. Excellent connection. Alright, so that was Snowbound. Okay, tell you what. What's heavier, a kilogram of steel or a kilogram of feathers? Feathers, of course, they're lighter. Let's see, he's not coming back from that. Yeah, probably not. Okay, tell you what. We are technically under an hour, so we'll do one more. And then I'll focus on getting a choose your own path in the next stream. Okay. You know, I have an idea for the next choose your own path. Might not happen, or maybe not the next choose your own path, but maybe a choose your own path down the line. I could probably, let's see. Wait, hang on. There we go. I could probably, oh, you know what? I'll talk after I start the poll. Snow is always so creepy. It's beautiful at the same time. It hides so much and obscures light and sound. It makes things so unsettling and quiet. Yeah, there's actually some science between why it always seems quieter when there's snow out. Apparently, snow has like a sound dampening effect, I think. Okay, guys, we have, following the theme, snow hunting is the first option. And then we have doll. I don't think, I think we've had a doll-related one previously, but I think that was from a different book. And Abandoned. Okay. Snow hunting, doll, and abandoned. That's gonna be the poll. But yeah, I have an idea. Maybe it might be fun to do, like, I don't know. I'm still thinking this out of my head, so maybe I shouldn't say anything. But it might be fun to, in the future, do an event where, you know, like 3 of you guys get chosen. Like I can enter everybody into a list randomly and then have the list select 3 people, right? And then we could possibly do a choose your own path thing, right? But the people that were selected each take turns making a choice. And if their choice leads to like a bad ending, then that person gets eliminated and they don't get to make any more choices. And the last person standing gets like a $5 Steam gift card or something. Or I don't know, whatever the minimum thing is. You know, it's not necessarily about like the money, but you know, the fun. So that might be a fun thing to do in the future. But then again, you guys wouldn't be able to... yeah, you guys wouldn't be able to vote. Well, that might be a fun one-off event in the future, but yeah. Snow insulates pretty much everything. It's mostly just air. Yeah. The doll is Angie from Village. Don't say that. I'll have to whip her out and have her peek over the book at you guys if you guys vote for doll. If you saw my chubby fan art, I hope you liked it. Oh, is it in the Discord? Let's see. Also, hope the image showed up like a sticker. It wasn't just a white background. If you tweeted me, I'm really bad about Twitter. I need to check that more. If it's in the Discord, I'll probably be joining the Discord here this week. So, I'll have to check it out. Let's see. If they make a wrong choice, they die in real life. Yes, if they make a wrong choice, I will personally fly out and assassinate every person that didn't make it. But it might be a fun little thing. And, you know, it would technically be like a giveaway or something. I don't know. A reward would be the fun that everyone could have. Yeah. So it might be an event. Maybe I could take like 10 people and just like read out through an hour's worth of the choose your own path and just we keep going until everybody's dead. Yeah, I don't know how it would be fair though, because technically the first people would always be at the disadvantage because the people going after them would know, you know, oh, don't pick that choice because someone just died to that choice or something. Or maybe it would be a new... Yeah, there's a lot of planning I'm gonna have to do to make that work, but I think it's got potential. Alright, abandoned it is. This will be the final story of the stream. Sounds good. Yeah, post it on Discord and Twitter. Yeah, I'll have to join that Discord. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, depends on how busy I am. Okay, here we go. Actually, let me get some water real quick. Do less people but add a life system? That might be a good idea. You know, I could have everybody, yeah, I could do it by Discord, maybe. Have everybody, like, ask the question, you know, the path, right? Like, do you choose option A, option B, or option C? And then everybody could write it down, right? And then it shows what everybody wrote after they've written it, you know, when they've all voted. And then, you know, the people that voted wrong. Although then again, it's not like we can split the path. Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult than I thought it might be. Can we get Angie anyway? Okay, she is an abandoned doll. Well, she's not abandoned, she's in my pocket. Yeah, okay, tell you what, we'll go ahead and add Angie. Let's see, okay, nobody judge me for my messy accessories list. Let's see, where is she? Actually, yeah, there we go. A is for Angie. Okay, I gotta make sure... Oh no, wait, there's no room for her. Hang on. Okay, I'll have to redo the book. Okay, hang on. Let me go to break, I think. Yeah? Okay. And then, yeah, because the thing is, each, whatchamacallit is on a different layer, which means that... they can't exist on the same layer, so I'm gonna have to unlock the book, get rid of the book, put Angie on that layer, and then put the, because I assume Angie's gonna be, you know, behind the book layer. So Just give me 1 second and we'll have her out. Oh god, she's so horrible looking. I need like a cartoony, chibi version of her. Oh my god, that's awful. That's so bad. Okay, alright, we're almost there. Okay, alright. This is cursed. This is absolutely cursed. Okay. Let's see. I guess that's not too bad, is it? Oh no. Oh no. What do you guys think? I can't see the chat, hang on. Okay, there we go. VTubing seems pretty fun, but also technically a ton of work. If I did it, I'd be worried about breaking everything in 5 seconds. It is. It totally is. And there's, you know, stuff you don't consider, and commissioning a model or learning to do it yourself is also very expensive or a lot of work. So it's, I really need to make a cheapie. I'm gonna commission. I'm gonna waste my money on it so we can have accessories for story time. Oh my god, this is so cursed. Think your dog is sick? Yeah, she's supposed to be a person, but she kind of does look like Smile Dog a little bit, I guess. Okay, here we go, guys. She's gonna be our friend for the duration of the stream. This is what you did. You did this. Okay, alright, alright. God, my mouth is still dry. Hang on. Plushie! That would be a really good idea! A plushie of Angie, and that way it's like a kind of like a parody. I could probably get away with it, but I don't know if I could sell it, because even if it's a parody, I think you still can't sell fan art, which is lame because, well, then again, I guess I kind of understand it. Maybe I should do an Angie-inspired doll. Yeah, just like Ghost Chew over here. Okay. All right. Okay. I can't keep. I keep looking at it. It's deeply unsettling. Okay, alright, I need to calm down. I'm actually... my adrenaline is going for some reason. Okay. After the Esme plushie... I do have an Esme plushie too, technically. Kittens made me one, I believe. Oh, God. Okay, one more... next time. Too many accessories. We're gonna look like an MMO character that's super OP. We live in the bad timeline. Yeah. Is Angie staring at the book or looking at us? Who knows? Yeah, who knows? She's having a great time, though. I can say that. I'd love to say, but I gotta eat breakfast. Yeah, have fun, Scientific Cat. And no worries, this is the last story of the stream, so you're good. Okay, here we go. Whew, good stream, good stories. I really recommend Chad the Ghost Puncher. One of these days we'll have to have, like, a crack stream where we just read, like, the most insane stories. Not necessarily horror, but unsettling. Oh god, almost missed it. Well, glad to see you, Criminal Saint. Thank you for joining us and becoming cursed. Let me are the powerful accessory wizard. Yeah. Abandoned. From a distance, the collapsed tent looked almost identical to the dark rocks dotting the snow-blanketed slope. Angus didn't notice the flapping canvas until he was nearly on top of it. Angus paused, his walking stick raised in preparation for his next step, and stared at the structure. Mount Onglavia wasn't a popular mountain climbing destination, so he hadn't expected to see anyone else on his weekend trip. The tent had collapsed and become half buried by the snow, which didn't bode well for its occupant. Angus wasn't high enough for altitude sickness to be a serious concern, but there were still a multitude of other hazards that could maim or kill an unprepared climber. Angus quickened his pace, struggling through the knee-deep snow to reach the tent. "Hello?" he bellowed as he neared it, even though he didn't expect any answer. "Anyone hurt?" Silence. Angus circled around the tent before drawing closer and tugging on the canvas. To his shock, the fabric pulled away in a thin strip. Something had sliced through the tent's walls, and only the poles and the weight of the snow held the remainder of the structure together. What's strong enough to cut this? Angus examined the frayed edges of the thick cloth. A knife could do it, or maybe a bear, except there aren't supposed to be bears around here. Angus pulled on the fabric, throwing off the heavy layer of snow to see underneath. Any thought that the tent might have been abandoned due to a defect left him. Inside was fully stocked with food, spare clothes, and hiking equipment. Angus turned back to survey the harsh white landscape. The pine trees, spindly and dark green, were the only life he could see. The average climber would take more than a day to reach the mountain's base from Angus's current location. Whoever owned the tent surely wouldn't have gone down without his supplies, would he? A knapsack sat in the corner, nestled in the snow, but still full of clothes and equipment. Angus swiped his gloved hand through the white powder coating the tent's floor and found the sleeping bag underneath. Angus didn't like to think about what had happened to the tent's owner. Mountaineering was a dangerous hobby, especially when done solo. Angus cast his eyes across the hills, wondering if the mystery climber's body was out there somewhere. The tent wasn't completely buried, which meant it must have been set up only a few days before. You like how Angus isn't a generic name that is usually used in these stories. Down with James. Yeah, Angus is a tough guy. Your hoarding trinkets both in RE8 and as accessories for your model. Yeah, exactly. I have a problem, I know. Dyatlow's Pass in manga. Gosh, that's a scary... Yeah, the Dyatlow's Pass is a very frightening story. You could totally get the sock puppet Angie from those YouTube trailers. That's right. Oh, we really gotta watch the I don't know if it'll give me a copyright strike, but there's a puppet version that came out before the Resident Evil game. It's fun. It's got English subs as well, but we'll have to watch that one of these days. Still, a few days is a long time for someone to survive around here. The strangest part, though, were the slashed tent walls. Angus lifted parts of the canvas to examine the long, jagged gashes. He couldn't come up with any rational explanation for the damage. A gust of wind blew a thin flurry of snow across the landscape and batted it against Angus's hooded face. With the wind came a low, drawn-out moan. Angus turned towards the noise. He'd never heard anything like it before, but it somehow seemed to fit the bleak environment. He guessed it might have come from air being forced through a hole in a rock or possibly even a cave. It might have been some sort of wolf, though it sounded like no animal he'd ever heard before. The noise set his teeth on edge. Angus lurched to his feet and pulled the walking stick from where he'd propped it in the snow. I'll tell someone about the tent when I get back to base. They'll have a challenge finding the body among these rocks, but if someone's been reported missing, it might be a little comfort to their family to know their last location. Angus readjusted his balaclava and turned to the path that led towards the mountain Angus readjusted his balaclava and turned to the path that led towards the mountain's top. I don't know why that sentence gives me an issue. The summit is right after that, and I keep wanting to put the summit. Angus readjusted his balaclava and turned to the path that led towards the mountain's top. The summit was no more than 4 hours away, 3 if the weather stayed good. The low, long moan echoed across the icy hills again, and Angus paused. No, don't start thinking that. Just keep walking. He turned back to the woods, his eyes scanning the trees. But what if? What if it's the camper hurt and calling for help? And Angus shook his head and swiveled back to the path. The tent's been abandoned for days. No one can survive out here without shelter for that long. Are you certain, though? Are you willing to risk leaving a man to die up here if you're wrong? Angus turned back to the trees as he tried to figure out where the sound had come from. Hello? Come on, you're building things out of proportion, and the sun's getting low. You'll need to keep moving if you want to reach the top of the mountain before sundown. Still, Angus hesitated. The noise came to him again, floating along the frigid air, its tone hollow, hungry, and raw. Angus swore and began jogging towards the woods. He had difficulty moving through the snow at a normal rate. Running was nearly impossible. Even so, the sound was fading, and he wanted to find its source before he lost it again. He squirmed around an outcrop of rocks, and when he dropped into the sheltered hollow behind it, his foot landed on something that snapped under his weight. Angus felt his mouth dry. He stumbled backwards, lost his balance, and fell. Coiled into the sheltered hollow of the rocks was a human body, its limbs spread out and head lolled to one side. Angus recognized a popular brand of hiking jacket, though it had been unzipped to expose the belly underneath, or what had once been the hiker's belly. The body had been eviscerated, its clothing shredded, and its insides torn out. The organs were frozen solid on the ground, waiting for spring to thaw the snow and make them vulnerable to birds of prey and wild beasts. The face, perfectly preserved, held an expression of mingled shock and horror. The face, perfectly preserved, held an expression of mingled shock and horror. The eyes bulged, and the mouth was open, though something seemed to have eaten its tongue. The wail came from the patch of woods behind Angus, and it sounded far, far closer than it had before. He turned slowly and faced the being that watched him from just behind the closest trees. All right. And that was, what was it called? Snow hunting. Yeah, I gotta say, Angus, maybe not the smartest thing you could have done. There's signs of an animal, or a person having attacked whoever had been in the tent, and you're just like, oh, well, let me run towards those unearthly noises. Good job, Angus. Okay. Every time she says Angus, I think of an Angus burger. Spooker. Neat. Another. Oh, I would love to, but if you heard my performance during that last one, my brain is starting to melt. Angus is not a smart boy. No, he was not. So he did too. I mean, he was a bit dumb, but he had the spirit. Yeah, he did, but I think him being, cornered kind of in that hollow of rocks with that whatever it, beast, if it's strong enough to completely slice a canvas tent up and eviscerate a human, then the outlook is grim. The internet is okay now. Yeah, it seems like it. Overall, all 4 of these were fun. Yeah, I like these. I think these are a good way to do it. And I know creepypasta readings, spooky, scary story readings used to be super popular about 4 years ago. It seems like it's faded, like a fad, but to me, it was never a fad. I've always liked it, and I kind of always wanted to keep doing it. So whether or not, I mean, clearly they don't pull in the same amount of people as the regular game streams, but I like doing it. It's fun, and if I'm out of ideas for a game or if I haven't gotten something prepared, it's a good backup as well. Let's see, have you read any of the Frank and Fran mangas? Frank and Fran, why does that sound familiar? Let me have a look at that. No, I haven't. Looks bloody as hell, though. There was this one manga I've been wanting to read where the plot line is... I don't really know the plot line, but I understand that it has to do with, like, a magical girl disease or, like, parasite where regular people will, like, come down with these, like, parasitic things that manifest themselves as, like, kind of like the magical girl appearance trope, but the problem is, like, it destroys the host and, like, warps the host's body, and it's like body horror and stuff. I forget what it's called, but I've seen screen caps of some of the manga, and it's definitely something I've been wanting to read. Tents are like papers, so they aren't too strong. Well, I imagine these are like tougher material, kind of like tarp or canvas. I know some dents can be really flimsy, but it seemed like in this case, they were like professional kind of insulated tents. Okay, I still need to work on a monocle for my little guy up here, whose name I will always forget. I think Nazar, was it? Yeah, probably. But yeah, so that was today's reading stream. Have you ever read any of Junji Ito's mangas? let's see, this music is a little tense. Let me just skip that. Okay. I don't know what that's doing in the chill reading pile. I'll probably have to delete that one. Yeah, boy have I. My old profile pic was, what was her name? Kyrie from Uzumaki. I've read just about everything to date, at least, you know, back in 2017, of Junji Ito stuff. And I'm been keeping tabs on that new that new anime. I was about to say manga, but there's a new anime that's going to keep like the black and white style, so hopefully it'll be a better anime than the previous Junji Ito anime that came out. They didn't really do his stuff justice. What? That sounds awesome. Magical girl body horror? Yeah, let me see. Maybe I can get the name of it. But yeah, yeah, and it like warps people, it takes over their mind. Okay, Magical Girl Apocalypse, I think, is the name of it. That seems right. I'll know it if I look at the pictures. Yeah, that's it. Ooh. I think. Is it? Yes, that's it. Okay, Parasite M. That's the one I've seen. It like it's like a parasite. It takes over the host and it creates like a magical girl aesthetic, but the problem is it's really warped and it's gross and disgusting looking. Tell you what, let me see if I can put my little overlay on and we'll have a look at it. Okay, let me get rid of the background and I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Oh shoot, I'm in the way. Let me move, I guess. There we go. Okay. There we are. Yeah, so like this is the one that I've seen. Like I think everyone's seen the screenshots of it, but it's really, really scary. And as you can see, it's like a parasite and it's coming up on the host and it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's really weird. I don't know a thing about it, but I definitely have plans to read that in the future. So looks pretty nuts, pretty crazy, which I always appreciate. Sometimes with these manga, they just go absolutely insane, and yeah. So pretty good stuff, pretty good stuff. All right, I'll go ahead and spare you if I'm looking at that anymore. But all right, that's bizarre. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. There's a lot of really bizarre horror manga out there, and I just love how nuts it gets. You remember hearing about a potential Uzumaki anime in the works, but I can't remember from where. Yeah, somebody told me about it in DMs. Okay, while we're at it, I guess I could show that. Anime. Here we go, and it looks a lot like the manga too, is the thing. Like, if I show you these images, it's gonna look exactly like the manga. There we go. See? It's like this is from the anime, and I don't know if it's like 3D with the manga as textures on it, but it looks really good. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, Toonami. Oh, I didn't know that was still a thing. Alright, so I guess that's it for the spooky reading stream today. Oh, actually, while I'm here, I gotta show you guys one more thing. Yeah, I'll show you what new merch we've got in the store. And we've got several new pieces that I'm waiting to come by. So look forward to that, maybe, if you want. But here we go. So this is the newest. It's by Thendriks. So he was kind enough to give me permission to have it on the store. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Oh, and I made, I had to adjust some of the prices because I was making 0 as it was. Let me show you. There we go. Yeah, some of these, it was like $0 and $0. Even though someone purchased like 2 to 3 things, I was making 0. So I was like, okay, all right. I want to at least make $1. So I did have to raise it like maybe $1, but that way I'm not, yeah. So there we go. So we've got a bit of a new selection and we'll have new stuff. I've got more Tiny Ghosts pending from Bajira. So I'm super excited about that. I should be able to do maybe like a series every now and then. So if you like these guys, which I don't know, I really like them, keep that in mind maybe. So yeah, I guess that's it then. Oh, and I'm offering logo versions. Like, see, I guess I don't have a logo yet, but I've got words. versus no logo. So if you don't like the words, you don't have to get them. Every time I put the logo on there, I'm going to offer like a no logo option. So yeah, that should be it. I think they're looking pretty good so far. So that's that then. Good gifts for Halloween. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. By the way, I've been trying to make a wide version of the poster. I spent like 3 hours. I'm not even exaggerating. And it won't work. It won't take the large version. It always throws up an error every single time I try to make I choose the widest option. So I'm gonna have to give up for the time being. Maybe I could contact Streamlabs support. It says that I can do that if it keeps throwing up the error, which it has, but I don't know if that's actually gonna get me anywhere. But yeah. So there we go. Thanks for watching that, I guess. Oh, hang on. 1 second. I am just all over the place. All right, cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining me for the spooky, scary reading. I really appreciate it. Hopefully everyone had a good time and they're having a good week. What is it like? I think it's Thursday, or is it Wednesday? 1 second. It's kind of blurring right now. Okay, it is Wednesday. Good. So hopefully everyone's, Wednesday for some of us. For some of us, it is Thursday. But hopefully you guys are having a good week so far. And I should be returning to house on the next stream, which is probably going to be maybe either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Depends. And yeah, I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. And I'm hoping everybody stays safe. Hope Dragno feels better too. I'll probably be popping by on the Discord here pretty soon, so I'll see you guys then too. Well, let me see here, and there. Cool. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Hope you had fun.